not anything different than what we haven't done already. So we'll do some more of it to get better at it. The triangle proportionality theorem, we've already seen a picture like this. We know that this triangle is proportional to that one or similar because since these two lines are parallel, corresponding angles are equal, so those two equal each other and those two. So angle would make them proportional. Now, if you drew this separately, there's the top one and then there's a bigger one. So this also has a shared angle there. Angle R and angle R are the same angle because they're overlapped. But if you did a proportion, it would be this side corresponds to that, this to this, and this to this. So like if we had this, it'd be easy to write a proportion, right? X to 10 equals 8 to 12. Everyone can do these easier ones when they're separate, right? Yeah. Okay. So we don't do this that much, but they're saying if these two are similar, then that means the lines have to be parallel. Okay? We're not really doing that. We'll be doing where we're finding a missing value. So here's an example of that. They want to know how long NR is right there. So here's a simple one. You just got to write a proportion, x to 4, and then follow the same pattern. Since I went that to that, you go 9 to 6. Okay? Or I could have went x to 9 equals 4 to 6. They're both correct. In both of them, you take 9 times 4 is 36, and then divide by 6. So that turns out to be 6. Okay? Now, sometimes you got to look for a shortcut. If they would have asked for, and they will in the assignment, they'll ask for MR, the whole length. Okay, so you could do it one of a couple ways. You could just find this the same way we just did. X to 4 equals 9 to 6, and we figured out that was 6. And then to answer the question, the whole thing is you just add them together. It'd be 15, right? Or you could do it this way. Since they want the whole thing, you take the whole side, which we don't know, to this whole side, which is 10, equals this piece to that piece. And you'd get the same answer, 15. Both ways work. Okay, so this is the same thing right here. To find this, df, it's just x to 12 equals 6 to 8. So you just follow the same pattern when you're writing it out. So it'd be 72 divided by 8 is 9. Okay. Here, they're wondering, are these lines parallel? Well, they're parallel as long as these are proportional. 42 over 36 doesn't equal 54 over 48. Remember how to check if they're proportional? You can either divide them and see if they get the same decimal, or you can do the cross products. 36 times 54 is 1944. 42 times 48 is not. So they're not equal, so the answer is no. They're not parallel because these aren't proportional. Okay, I should go back to a picture like this. Let's say this piece here was 16, and they wanted to find that. Okay, you've got some options here too. I could take, we have had a picture like this too on one of ours, if you remember. It would be this piece corresponds to that. So then I would have to put what over what? No. This is the tricky one.
6 over 12 over 20.
You're close.
Why?
8 over 12.
20 over 12.
20 over 12.
Yeah, but
No.
why?
The reason why is this is the bottom of the whole thing and this is the bottom of the small one.
Okay.
So then I'd have to put the side of the whole thing, which is 20, over the side of the small one, which is 12.
Well, that's kind of funny.
Yeah. This is one where if it is drawn, if I drew these separate, then it's easy to see. Because this whole side is 20. X to 16 equals, oh, I did write it backwards, didn't I? No, I went 16 to X, 20 to 12. Okay? That is about the trickiest one there is. All right, parallel lines. If you've got a bunch of lines that are parallel, that are split, these pieces are going to be proportional. So like if this was X and this was 10 and this was 4 and this was 3, you could figure out what X is because X to 10 has to equal 4 to 3. Okay? So when they're parallel lines, it cuts it into proportional pieces too. This is one we haven't seen yet. When you take your ACT test, they do have these on there. If this angle is bisected, hey, you guys, put that away. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. This big triangle right here is broke into 4 different pieces. So you can write a proportion using these 4 pieces. So let's just say this is X and this is 10 and this is 12 and this is 8. Again, as long as you follow the same pattern, X to 10 equals 8 to 12. Or I could have went this way, X to 8, and then just follow the same pattern. Since I went this to this, I'd have to go 10 to 12. Okay. So here's one with the parallel lines. They want to know what is the length of GH. So that's your X. So X to 25 equals 28 to 30. So you just cross multiply and divide. And it's 23.3 repeating. Make sure if you get a repeating one, which there are a few, that you label it repeating. Now this one, they make this a little harder because they don't say this is X and that this is, say, whatever. The whole thing is 18. We want to find what QR is. So we'd call that X. So then how long would you call this one? Nope, you can't solve it if it's got it close.
X plus, 18.
You're close.
X minus 18.
You're closer.
18.
18 minus X. Because the whole thing is 18 and this is X, so if you take the 18 and subtract the X, you're left with that length. So this is one where you got to write an equation. X to 12 equals 18 minus X to 8. So these aren't the simple proportions where you can just cross multiply and divide. You got to write an equation out. 8 times X equals this times this. So remember, when there's 2 here, you got to take the 12 times 18 is 216, and the 12 times negative X. You guys remember those? Okay. So when you solve it, get the X over here, it's a minus, so you add it, get it over with the other X. Divide by 20. and it's 10.8. So QR is 10.8. If they were asking for RS, you would just take 18 minus 10.8. 7.2. Okay. All right, this one we don't need to go through. They're just saying explain why, if these are evenly spaced, if this and this are evenly spaced, why would these be? Well, the reason why is these lines would all be parallel, so the sides would be proportional. Okay, so back to one like this. To find x, again, if this was an easy one where that was just 8 right there, it'd be a simple proportion. It'd be x over 68 equals 8 over 12. But it's not. So it'd be x over 16 equals 21 minus x over 12. So these you have to write an equation out to solve them. X times 12 is 12x. And then on here, 16 times both of those, you got to take them times both. It's 336 minus 16x. So move the x over, it's minus, so you add it. And then divide by 28. And you get 12. So that's about the hardest that they are, is ones like that.